Today I want to talk about learned behaviors and accountability. So, as a child, you know that you pretty much mimic everything that you see, especially in your environment. And the other day, I had a self-reflecting moment where I realized one of my emotional responses to when I am wrong is to try to make the situation so that I don't look like I'm in the wrong. And when I realized that that's what I had done in that situation, my mind went even deeper back to when I was a child, and I remembered where I picked this behavior up from. And when I was younger, in my environment, there was a person who always seemed to never be wrong. I mean, never be wrong. And if they were in the wrong, they would find a way to make you feel like you were more wronger than them, and never wanted to admit they're wrong, but just had to make the other person feel small and feel as though they wasn't right. And I remember at that age, I despised that behavior. I didn't like it. And I had every right, because that's not the right type of mindset. But I never thought in a million years that I was going to grow up and exhibit that same behavior. And when I did it, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I really had to go back and self-reflect and see. I had to tell myself that you was wrong. And you try to make this other person feel like they didn't know they was talking about, and you was right. But you were wrong. And you said it in a certain type of way to make yourself feel better. It still sounds stupid. But it taught me a valuable lesson. There are a lot of behaviors we learn as children that we grow up with and don't even realize some of these behaviors that we grow up with. Just because we're in these adult bodies, we are still carrying this inner child within us. That child aspect of us is still within us. And if we don't analyze how we behave on a daily basis, and when I say analyze how we behave, I mean your emotional responses. Why you point your finger like that when you talking? Why you stand with your hand on your hip when you're mad, and how you roll your neck? Why you fuss all the time? And I don't want to name just all of the negative emotions, but those are the main ones that no longer serve us. They're behaviors that were mindsets of others who didn't know the best way to handle situations, and we end up growing up mimicking that and not even realizing it. Some of these mindsets have cost those people that you mimicked, it have cost them relationships, it have cost them jobs, and you don't want to have those same experiences, and you might not even know the consequences behind those behaviors, but you learning them as you grow older. And this is why we need to analyze and realize what we are doing on a daily basis and where we got it from, and if it is working for us. This also helps to break family generational curses, because there are things within families and mindsets and traditions that your family could have that it's not working anymore. It didn't work for nobody. These certain mindsets that they have. And you are going to have to be the one to say, I'm not doing this. This is not working for us. We got to find something better. We can't talk like this no more. We can't act like this anymore. And you got to want to find what is better for yourself. I also want you to remember that if you have children, It's very important, and I am guilty of this myself. It's very important to pay attention to how you emotionally respond in front of your children, because they are mimicking, they are picking up everything you do. And if you pay attention close enough, see if they're mimicking you right now. They don't necessarily have to wait until they're grown. Listen to how they play, listen to how they talk. If they have siblings, listen to how they interact with one another. You're going to see some of you in that. You're going to hear some of you in that. You want to present yourself with the best version of you. And you're not going to get everything right, but you want to put the work in where you are becoming a better you. And that starts with going into that inner child and letting go of those things that no longer work for you, that no longer serve you. Some people have taught their children codependency on alcohol. They just can't handle certain stresses. And so they learn to just drink. And the kids find them passed out. And in that moment, they learn it. And they make a decision whether they're going to grow up and do that or not. Some children are in environments where they just see and hear toxic things all the time. They never hear a conversation where there's love in the conversation. And they grow up in that. And the only way they know how to communicate with other people is just to holler. And not really express how they are feeling. This is really important and beneficial to your growth. And be accountable. That was the other thing I wanted to say. Be accountable. Being accountable means realizing what you are doing and changing that. And being honest with yourself. And don't always see yourself in the right. Give yourself credit for where it is due. But also see the better side of you, how you could have better handled that situation. Apologize for your wrong and make it right if you can. And if you can't at that moment, you just know and have a plan for yourself for how the next time when this situation comes up, I'm going to handle it in this manner. So work on yourselves and work on that inner child. Find out what it is that you're doing that you learned in your childhood, and if it's working for you today. All right, y'all. Peace.